Is which connects young Israelis to their peers worldwide. Nimrod, thank you for coming on. I know it's a tough day. Let's rewind, if we can, to 1 year ago today. Your commander called you to come to your army base in Jerusalem, but you defied those orders and drove south instead to try to save lives. What went through your mind in that moment, and what was that day like for you?
Thank you, Diane. I followed my heart, as I used to since I was a young kid, and I traveled south all by myself, and I discovered October 7 as I go. What I've seen is all the atrocities we hear about them for the last year. I've seen them with my own eyes. I've seen a massacre of many young kids from the party all over the different junctions on the Gaza envelope, on the roads. And I took weapons and body armor from dead and wounded soldiers, and I fought against Hamas. I got shot myself. And after seeing these atrocities, I told myself I have to do something. For example, while I'm holding a rifle in one hand and fighting, I held my iPhone and took pictures and videos and documented what I saw, because I understood that Israel will have to protect herself also in the advocacy stage. People will probably not believe Israel, what had happened here. So I felt the urge to document everything.
Looking back now, 1 year later, what surprises you most about the past year and how the world really has changed since October 7th?
So I was surprised how quick, again, nurturing the anti-Semitism and ignorism against Israel really worked. Because the barbarism that occurred here against our young people and the communities, by the way, babies, families, was so horrific. And you get to see so many smart and bright and intelligent kids in America and US campuses, fully against Israel in such ways that surprised me, really. And for that, by the way, we in Israel, we developed this VR tool. I decided I want to bring to students the Nova Festival or the communities to the campuses. Like for them to actually be present in the location where I was, to see with their own eyes on 360, and then to make a judge for themselves.
So talk me through how you did this, because you took some of that footage that you shot and turned it into this education tool that is really immersive. You call it Survive to Tell, Be the Witness. I know more than 10,000 people have already seen it since you launched last year. So what drove you to do this, and what does this experience entail?
Listen, America is our best friend for Israel. And for us, we want to invest in the young people in America, and we understand that we want them close to Israel as our best ally. That was my motivation. We set a goal next year to get to 500 campuses. Now, for our young people now, the Gen Zs, to add storytelling, which people adore stories, and technology together, that's the power of what we created here in this immersive experience. And basically, we're traveling with suitcase full of these VR sets between one campus by another across America, all over America, and with a very specific workshop that we developed. We are creating these round circles of dialogue, of debating, of talking, but only after these students for themselves going back in time with the survivors from the Nova, with me, and experiencing what we had to do on the same day.
So are you saying that you are open to having conversations about this? For example, hearing opinions of how some of these students might still think Israel is at fault for some of the things happening in these war zones, as long as they have seen the perspective of what it looked like to you on October 7th?
Of course. I mean, that's the whole point. I know that we have so much to share. And for us, the understanding is it's not Israel-Hamas. It's much more complicated. We feel that we present the Western world civilization, our civilization of democracy, of human rights and love and empathy. And we are fighting against a side that is cherishing death and destruction more than they're aiming to kill us more than they aim to live a good life. And we want to, and by the way, also the Palestinians deserve better leadership. And that's kind of the dialogues that we are creating with the students. We are open to hear their criticism and their concerns and their fears, but only after they go to face-to-face meeting with us, people-to-people connection, non-biased. And we learned that it really helped. The students get to feel close to you and understand you.
Nimrod Palmach, we appreciate you coming on today. It's a story I wish you never had to tell, but I thank you for sharing it with us and sharing it in the way that you're doing. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much, Diane.
I want to bring in Nimrod.